we had Dusty May for 30 minutes at a press conference earlier this week on Tuesday afternoon. Also got to meet with most of the assistant coaching staff. Mike Boynton Jr. was out of town, but Drew Williamson, Kyle Church, Justin Joyner, and of course I'm forgetting one as we who am I forgetting?
Akeem Miskadeen.
Akeem Miskadeen as well. Got to talk to all of them, learn a lot about the roster they put together, the staff that they have, the vision for what they think they can do this year, which is win. We got some clarity on the Danny Wolf, Vlad Golden plan, which is basically to play them together significant minutes, Dusty May said, and probably about 14 minutes of Danny Wolf at the 5 by himself when Vlad Golden is off the floor. As Dusty said, he averaged about 25 minutes a game last year. So maybe if he's at that 25, 26 mark, then Danny Wolf is the rest of it. So that was one of the things we received clarity on. But your guys' takeaways from what we got to do on Tuesday.
Yeah, similar to when I sat down with him on Thursday. This guy's so impressive, right? Everything he says and every one of his detailed answers about how he's going to use guys and why he recruited a guy because he's good in the pick and roll to go with his big man who's good in the pick and roll. We don't want shooters, guys that aren't shooters. We took a chance on Roddy Gale because I know he's a better shooter than 28% because he shot 40% a year earlier. Just his organization, his work ethic is a huge step up, with all due respect to the previous head coach. I mean, it's very clear to me that, when you go 8 for 8 guys on official visits here and your NIL still isn't where it needs to be. And he said that some of these guys are still going to be sacrificing. And I remember, I think it was in The Athletic that Juwan Howard said, he's going to need it. Good luck to him. He's going to need it. Well, he made his own luck. He went out and he told us when we asked him about meeting with the collectives, he said, we talk to them every day. I talk to donors every day. He said, yes, yes, yes. I told him I was going to do that, and I'm doing that. So he checks every box, and I have never been more confident in predicting success for a coach other than John Beilein and Jim Harbaugh, and I've said that many times. And every time I hear this guy speak, the more confident I get. So there will be some bumps in the road. There were bumps in the road for John Beilein. There were bumps in the road for Jim Harbaugh. But there's no question in my mind that this guy is going to win here and win significantly. I don't know if that means national championship. I know that's his goal, but he took Florida Atlantic to a Final Four. That was not a fluke, right? And somebody put up a list of mid-major coaches who had gotten to Final Fours and made deep runs, and almost all of them went on to pretty good success. Dusty May is going to be the next one in line there.
Yeah, to piggyback on what you said about in terms of the gravitas, the organization, comparing him to Jim Harbaugh or John Beilein. I wrote about that earlier today, and that's over on the website right now. Like, there's a gravitational pull about him where good players want to be coached by him. Good coaches want to work with him. And in all the guys that we've talked to so far, like it's a combination of obviously the Kyle Churches and the Drew Williamsons. They've worked with him before. They know what he's all about. And they wanted to take that next step with him as he goes to a program that has expectations and resources that they didn't have available to them. Then you have a guy like Justin Joyner, who wasn't, not as familiar with him, hadn't worked with him before, but it's one of those it's like a game recognizes game type of thing. Like, given that he just came from a mid-major school at St. Mary's, like, he knows how hard it is, and he knew how hard the climb is for a program like that to do what they did. So the gravitational pull of Dusty May is something I'm really impressed with. And again, you could ask him, it's not just, I think the concern for a lot of people when we went into this offseason knowing that this roster was going to be completely flipped over is that, the NIL is not great. The admissions is always an issue. They're just going to have to throw something together and see what year one could look like. And, the process is extremely organized, and his predecessor can say he needs good luck. He's going to need all the good luck he can possibly muster. Is my co-host over here climbs up onto the couch. He's going to need all of the luck he can muster. Well, guess what? Fortune favors the bold and the well-prepared, and he has a plan. You ask him any guy on this roster, he could tell you why he appealed to them, or why he was appealed about their skill set. He could tell you how they'll fit. He could tell you what his vision for them is. Just the organization and conviction, I think, is what I continue to be impressed by.
Yeah, and you can I mean, it was kind of refreshing to listen to a head coach who answers questions. Like Juwan Howard really didn't want to talk to the media. He seemed like he was in a bad mood a lot of the time that he was going to talk to the media, but then he wouldn't say anything. He wouldn't even really talk about individual players that much. He didn't want to be critical at all. And then these guys are talking, I'm asking Drew Williamson about, hey, can Danny Wolf guard, guys on the perimeter? He said, well, that's something we're going to have to work with him on. And, like they're just honest, and there's no reason not to be completely honest with you. And then I see Michigan basketball, he has his press conference. And then yesterday they sent out an email, hey, maybe I'm on some email list, but hey, get your season tickets, right? And they're drumming up a lot of excitement with the fan base. So there are benefits, in my opinion, to, not to be a media person who's always complaining about how the access or whatever. But I thought that was fantastic. I think they've done a great job energizing the fan base and getting everybody, excited about what Michigan basketball is going to be in a very short period of time. As Dusty said when he sat down, he said, yeah, 5 weeks on the job, we feel like we've built a pretty competitive roster. And then you start thinking about it. You're like, yeah, it has been 5 weeks and they've done an incredible job in the early going. So yeah, we've had a bunch of stories from that up over at thewolverine.com. So you can check those out. But anything else from the press conference that stood out to you guys?
No, I'm just really excited. I'm excited again for Michigan basketball.
Yeah.
And I was, you were worried that, okay, if Dusty May doesn't want this job, and let's be clear, he really wanted this job, right? He had other opportunities. He made it clear that he thought this was the best fit for him. So, give credit to the guys who landed him, but basically, they were kind of recruiting each other. And Dusty May was as good a hire as they could have made. I was thinking this was going to be, they could be in the wilderness for 5 years, right? You never know. Rebuilding a program. They got a guy that not only is not going to be in the wilderness, but he's going to be competitive in the Big Ten this year, like he promised. Man, this guy is just really super impressive.
Don't sleep on Roddy Gale. I think that's a guy that they think could be an NBA lottery pick as soon as next offseason. I think that if he finds his shot again, he's probably the lead dog on this team, so to speak, at least in terms of late game situations. So I was really struck by how much I think Dusty kind of had a glow about him when talking about him.
Can I follow up? Did you get a quote on the lottery pick thing, or was that a vibe thing? Because
that's more of a vibe thing.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, he feels like to me they're alpha on offense. We'll see how it develops. Those guys are arriving around June 10th for the first workout. So we will be covering that over at thewolverine.com. Use our promo code UM1 for 2 months of premium access for just $1. Head to thewolverineondemand.com. You can order our national championship magazine, as well as here in just a few weeks be able to start pre-ordering our 2024 Michigan football preview magazine. But like the video, subscribe to the channel on YouTube. Appreciate you watching and listening, and we'll see everyone next time.